The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
This is Defining What Matters. A monthly discussion led by Bronx Community College President Carole Berotte Joseph that examines issues facing the college, the borough, the city, and the world.
Hello, welcome to the first of many conversations about the Bronx, Bronx Community College, and what matters to both of us. I've always believed that there's no better way to learn about the rest of the world than by actually experiencing it. That's why BCC has a robust study abroad program. Our scholars have been to every part of the planet, learning to think and act globally. In a short while, we will meet two of our students. But first, I'd like to introduce you to Professor Andy Rowan, who teaches English at BCC and also serves as an advisor, mentor, and guide to the students who study abroad. Professor Rowan, welcome to Defining What Matters.
Thank you very much for having me here. I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. So, though we call the program Study Abroad, I actually think it is two programs, right?
It is two programs. They complement each other, but they are distinct. The Study Abroad are programs that are already put together that our students apply for, whether it's Salzburg or through CUNY. Volunteer Abroad really is a service learning type of experience, and much more of the onus falls on the student to find an organization, to make an application, to convince the committee that they know what they will be doing and they'll be safe, but they're both wonderful experiences.
These sound like really wonderful opportunities, yet I understand that some of our students have to be coaxed into applying for them?
That is true. Many of our students are first-generation college students, and just getting to the college is a major goal. They don't even understand that these kinds of programs exist. When they do find out, sometimes they're very excited, and as the deadline grows near, they start to get cold feet. And we have to do a lot of hand-holding. But you know what? With the right type of support, our students do apply, and when they go, they flourish. Oh,
absolutely. So how do you select the students to actually go overseas?
Well, depending on what the program is. If it's a CUNY Stocks program, each of the CUNY schools that has the program has an application procedure. We work with our students on their paperwork, getting their transcript, on their e-permits, working on their essays, which are very important. If it's Salzburg, we have faculty nominate students. We also go through institution advancement to identify students, and we work with them once again to complete the application process, as you see many of those applications. Volunteer Abroad is very much the same, a general announcement, but the student winds up having to do much more work up front to put together a program. But through each step, we're there to guide them to make sure that they put their best foot forward.
I know you've been very much involved with the Salzburg seminar. Can you tell us a little bit about what happens during that week that the students spend there?
Well, we're very happy that Salzburg and Bronx Community College have become very synonymous. We've been very instrumental in helping them shape the program. They hit the ground running. The first day, the first lecture is at 4 o'clock, and they're not through until 10 o'clock when their heads start to fall on the table after flying through Germany to get to Austria. Every morning there is a lecture on a topic, whether it's identity, cosmopolitanism, genocide, sustainable development, with questions and answers. In the afternoons, the students work on group projects all week, and they make a presentation at the end of the week. A very important component is the trip to Dachau, to the concentration camp memorial site, which winds up being a very emotional day and has students thinking about things in a different way and looking at genocide broadly and not, well, this happened, and this happened. Before you know it, the week is over and the students are saying they don't want to come back home.
So how does a program like this add to the educational experiences that our students are having at BCC?
Well, we've had some conversations about internationalizing the curriculum, and I think all of this is of a piece that if we are teaching from a global perspective in our classes across the disciplines and starting to get students to think about global citizenship and global participation, and then offer them the opportunity to study abroad, to volunteer abroad, it becomes part of a bigger thing that stays with them not just for that week or 2 weeks or a month that they are abroad, but it starts on campus, it extends through whatever program they're in, it continues when they get back, and usually it's a lifelong thing. Yeah. And that's what we strive for.
Right. Now, I'm sure that there are additional costs associated with these programs. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
The CUNY Study Abroad programs quite often are very expensive, but there are scholarships, and we help the students prepare their scholarship papers. For Salzburg, thanks to you and your gracious support, the cost for that is covered. For volunteer abroad, there are 2 scholarships, but we need many more of those so we can have more students who have the volunteer abroad experience. Cost is a problem, but I know that your new director is going to be working very feverishly to raise funds so we can make these opportunities available to more students.
Wonderful. That's exactly what we would want. So what are some of the upcoming programs that we have lined up?
Well, we are getting ready to roll out Salzburg again for the students in the spring. We have the UN Pathways series that brings ambassadors together with the students. We go to Fairleigh Dickinson University and also have a facility on campus. There is the CUNY Stocks, and under your leadership, I'm getting very excited about the fact that we're going to start offering our own study abroad programs. And I think our faculty who are interested, this is going to be a very major step and one that's going to take a lot of planning, but I'm really excited about.
Wonderful. Well, I look forward to hearing more about those adventures and to also be joined by some of our students who have had these experiences. 2 of our BCC students who were part of the Salzburg seminars, and another one who volunteered to be a teacher in Cambodia this year, will be sharing with us their experiences and some unforgettable images that they brought back with them.
Hi, this is Jeff Fox for 107.5 WBLS, and when I get off the radio, I check out my man, the Dr. Bob Lee. It's open on BronxNet. I never miss it.
When they show excerpts of the Bronx in a minute and a half, what they essentially did was they disrespected us in the Bronx. They erased 2.5 decades of hard work by elected officials, by community leaders, community organizations. We're so tired of being depicted in a negative light. There's so much wonderful things happening here, from our cultural institutions to our parks, our beach, our restaurants, and that's what we want people in the world to see.
The Bronx, 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 the Bronx. Here to take you on a journey, tell you where I'm from. Yeah, the boogie down Bronx like Harris One. Let's start a revolution and shine like the sun. This is a movement, I march to the drum. Who doesn't know the Yankees, the great franchise, and the pioneers of hip-hop, the Furious Five. We built to survive, see the fire in my eyes. Take a walk in the X, feel the streets come alive. Fordham the point, see I'm proving my point. Grand Concourse, Sound View, let's rejoice. Feel the vibe in my voice, I do this for the people. The home of the best, headlines for the press. B to the O, to the O, to the N, X, to the B, to the O, to the O, and X, to the B, to the O, to the O, and X.
So we made it a hot song for the people to take notice. Some of the most influential people came from this borough, like Colin Powell, Ralph Lauren, and Al Pacino. Who doesn't enjoy a good book from Edgar Allan Poe? Or how about some good music from Luther Vandross? You can be who you want to be if you from out here. Supreme Court judge, like Sonia Sotomayor. There may be struggles, but there's love in my borough. And if you're from here, anywhere else you're thorough. We some hard-working people in a city that never sleeps. And we started the music where the world moves their feet.
B to the O, to the O, to the N.
Whenever somebody speaks negatively of the borough, defend your borough. Defend where we come from. Defend how beautiful it is. Defend all of the assets that we have here.
I've always been annoyed by the people who say, oh, the Bronx. It just annoys me. It still annoys me. And I say there are 3 places in the world with "the" in front of them: the Vatican, The Hague, and the Bronx.
The Bronx and I have been through some bad times and some good times, and boy, the good times are definitely here.
I'm proud of where you came from, because I always was. Everybody, I think a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm from, you know, and they always make something up. I was always proud of where I was from, and always came back home.
It's always wonderful to come back to the Bronx. You know, before I was Maria from Sesame Street, I like to tell people I was Sonia from the Bronx, and I just love to come back and see it growing and changing the way it has been.
Because you got a lot of guys coming up now, you know, thinking that they rapping or thinking that they really doing something. And if you lived in the Bronx, if you're supposed to be talking about the streets that you grew up in, if you didn't write nothing about that Bronx Zoo, and if you didn't write nothing about that beloved Yankee Stadium, then you definitely wasn't rapping about representing the Bronx where I come from. So long live the Bronx.
I do have a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, but the Bronx Walk of Fame means a heck of a lot more than that for me.
Welcome back to Defining What Matters and our discussion of Bronx Community College's Study Abroad program. With us, we now have 2 students who have taken advantage of the wonderful opportunities that we offer at Bronx Community College, Roy Nunez and Crystal Tavares. Thank you for coming today. Could each of you tell us a little bit about yourself and let us know how you became interested in study abroad? Shall we start with Crystal?
Sure. I was always interested in going abroad, traveling and things like that. And I always struggled with my major. So I didn't have good grades at first. So I always, people always told me, because my major is theater. So people always told me, like, you're not going to make money, what is that? So I never had good grades because I was constantly changing my major. But when I finally decided, like, this is what I want to do, I started getting my grades up. And then I said, I want to go abroad. So one day I took a shot in the dark and I wrote to Professor Owen, and he responded to me in about less than a week, and we had a meeting, and then he was like, when I went, he said that we had scholarships, that you guys offer scholarships to volunteer abroad, which was amazing to me because I like volunteering, but I knew that was an option, but I didn't know that was an option in BCC. So then we went from there, and he introduced me to another girl that also did it the year before, and she also went to Cambodia with the same organization that I went with. And
that's how you got involved.
That's how I got involved.
So Roy, tell us about yourself and how you became interested.
Well, I'm a biology student at Bronx Community College. I'm aspiring to one day attain a MD, PhD degree in biochemistry. I have a strong passion for science. It stems from when I was a child. I originally came to BCC to pursue a biotech degree. I became involved with the biology club, and I became involved with Dr. Malidi, who was the biology club mentor for our club. He introduced me to a world of science and the possibilities that lay ahead. And I took the club. I started growing with it. I grew with it. I helped the club grow. We got highly involved. We were highly involved in the community and outside of the college community as well. I was never really interested in study abroad programs. I didn't think I would qualify for such a prestigious opportunity. But I believe my high involvement in the college community led to a nomination for the Salzburg Global Studies Program. And afterwards, with the encouraged nomination, I applied, and I was selected by the Salzburg Committee and my esteemed president. And a week after, well, actually, while I was in Salzburg, I was also invited to apply for Cali, Colombia, for internship in regards to the study of water filtration systems and water governance. While I was over there, I applied, and I spent the summer in Cali, Colombia.
Wow, that's fascinating. So what did you do in the countries that you either studied or volunteered in? So you told us a little bit about the water project in Colombia.
Yes.
And what did that really entail?
Well, my job was to study the pre-treatments of water filtration systems. It was a multi-stage water filtration system. My focus was on the evaluation of the removal of E. coli and suspended solids. I spent a lot of time in the laboratory and throughout the communities, collecting samples and testing evaluating the efficiency of the removal.
Wonderful. What about you, Crystal?
I went to Cambodia and I was volunteering in an orphanage. I volunteered there for 6 weeks. And originally I went over there to just sort of build a relationship with the kids. Really, it wasn't to teach them. But the thing about those kids is that they love learning so much. So the minute that I got there, there were other volunteers. We lived in the house, all of us, and we would work from 8 in the morning till 12. Then we would have lunch for 2 hours. We had a 2-hour break at the house, and then we would come back and from 2 to 5, I believe, and the volunteers that were there before me were kind of like helping me throughout, like figuring things out. So we would ask them every day, like, oh, kids, do you guys want to play or do you want to study? And they're like, study, teacher, study, please study.
Wow.
So I went over there and I eventually ended up teaching them.
What did you teach?
I taught them a little bit of everything. In Cambodia, kids start school when they're like 8, 9. But the thing is, they only go to school for about 4 hours. They don't learn anything. So if they're 12 years old, they don't know how to add 1 + 1, which is completely terrible. So we taught them a little bit of everything, but they were more interested in math for some reason.
Interesting.
But so I did mostly math, word of the day, things like that, very, very basic things with, it was different age groups, there was an infant, but there was also 3-year-old to 18-year-olds in the orphanage.
So you had a big range.
Yes.
Wow. So is there a particular experience that meant a lot to you from these experiences that you had?
My high involvement in the community in Colombia. I was able to interact with a lot of Colombians over there, and I got a lot of good feedback. I learned more about myself over there. Also in Salzburg, I had one particular conversation with this cab driver, and what he said was, first he asked me where I'm from, and I told him New York. And he said, that's funny because Americans always say they're from America, but New Yorkers say they're from New York. So in that same week, throughout the seminar, the first lecture actually talked about ethnocentrism. And one of the slides depicted the New Yorker magazine with the illustrated New York City overseeing the rest of America. So it made me reflect on our own ethnocentrism. And I learned a lot about myself.
Fabulous. So how did your time in these countries change you as a person? You know?
Well, it changed me a lot. It opened my mind to a lot of things. One thing that I learned is that how much we don't value education, that's first off, and how much we don't... when I went over there, I noticed that a lot of people that I met, a lot of travelers too, they were so interested about New York. And I didn't know anything about New York. I've been living here 20 years, but I don't know anything. So one thing like I learned was just how to be more open and treat everything as if it's a new experience. You know, don't be closed-minded to anything or anyone.
That's wonderful. That's a great learning. So what are your future plans? And in terms of study abroad, are you thinking of doing any more?
Definitely. My experiences there broaden my perspective on life and the world beyond. I think bigger now. I can see myself making impacts not only in my society, but beyond my society, but in other parts of the country and the world. Yes, I see myself applying to future opportunities.
Is there anything else coming up now? I know we talked about something with the Department of Agriculture, was it?
Yes, yesterday I received the email from the USDA accepting my and I've been next spring I'll be in Washington most likely. Beautiful. With the USDA and working on agriculture and a biotechnology lab.
Wonderful.
So
you have something coming up?
These experiences gave me like a lot of confidence and a stronger sense of who I am.
Crystal, how about you?
Well, when it comes to my future, I feel like when it came to volunteering and going abroad, what I learned, to be honest, was to slow down. I was always making these plans before I went. Like, I was already planning past after I got my PhD, and that didn't make sense because I'm not even done with my associates. So I learned to slow down, to take things in to a, you know, everything that I planned kind of just fell apart, but in a good way. I planned, I will be graduating next year from, well, next semester from BCC, and I was planning to go straight into my bachelor's. But as plans always go through, I got a scholarship for a 2-year conservatory at Stella Adler Studio of Acting, one of the best. Thank you. So that, it just taught me to slow down, that stop living in the future.
Right.
That
or on
doesn't
a
make
fast lane,
sense.
right?
Yes.
That's wonderful. So what would you like to say to students who are considering, you know, study abroad or travel abroad or volunteering abroad? What would you like to share with your fellow students?
Keep open mind. And if you allow the opportunity to do so, cherish every moment. And another thing is just apply. You know, I didn't see myself being able to participate in these programs, and I just threw a shot in the dark, like she said. But regardless, whether you know, I've lost some internships and I've lost some. I didn't make it past some job interviews, and every loss I took as a learning experience and better prepared me for future opportunities.
Wonderful. And you're a returning student also, Roy, right?
Yes.
Because you were at BCC before and then came back. So it's really fabulous that you're participating in these things.
Yes.
So anything you can tell returning students?
So a few years back, I had a different perspective. I didn't have a son at that time. So coming to BCC, I wanted to change my life, pursue a different path. And as I came, because when I was previously in BCC, I didn't feel welcome. I didn't feel like I belonged here. I just knew it was the right thing to do. When I came back, you know, there was like an inviting culture. I had an open perspective on things, and I was working as well. So I barely slept at the time, but I found the time to get involved in the biology club, and being involved in the biology club just started. I just started getting involved with so many other activities beyond that, and this is where I am today.
Wonderful. And you, Crystal? Any advice for students?
Yes, I say just do it. Stop contemplating. Just stop thinking, what if something doesn't work out or anything like that. It'll work out in the end. Go, and when you go travel, go with an open mind, with an open heart. Don't go as a tourist, go as a traveler. Don't hop on tourist buses and take, just picture and then hop on to the next city. Take time, look at the city. Meet the locals. Go to local clubs if you want to go to clubs. Do things like that. Don't go as a tourist because that's not fun.
Well, that is so well said. I'd like to thank both of you. This is really wonderful that you were able to share with us some real experiences. And, this is the first installment of Defining What Matters. I hope that those of you who are watching us will return and watch us next month as we continue to define and provide the unique perspectives that really helps us at Bronx Community College to continue that journey on defining what matters at BCC. Again, thank you so much for sharing your experiences with us.
Thank you for having us.
My pleasure.
You got to learn your body, pace yourself, and have fun. So let's go have fun. Let's go do it. The tricky thing about shoulders, your shoulders is a 3-tier muscle. You have your front delts, you have your rear delts, and you have your mid delts. So when you're working out your shoulders properly, you have to do 3 different exercises.
It's wonderful being able to compete with a lot of these young guys from all over the world. It's important to stay in shape.
Hi, this is Jeff Fox for 107.5 WBLS. And when I get off the radio, I check out my man, the Dr. Bob Lee. It's open on BronxNet. I never miss it.